Dear humans, it is with great joy that we come amongst you, for we love to experience through you your own expansion in this physical reality. Many of you notice that as you move through this physical experience, you stumble on some things, and sometimes you stumble so often on the same things that you wonder, is it something that I'm doing wrong, or is it something about this physical reality? And because so many are trained to be limited to simply what is happening in the physical reality, so many of the wonderful gifts that are pouring through you from Source sort of get lost in the noise of getting so caught up in this physical reality. Now, life on this planet, life in this physical dimension, is meant to be a life of exploration, of fun, of expansion. But so many, because they stumble and they feel that they've lost their way, they feel, well, it must be a life of suffering. And so when we come through, we remind you about well-being. And so many of you say, yes, we get it, it's about well-being, and it's supposed to be fun, okay, we get it. Okay, let me go back and suffer because, I know you say this, but that only works if everything is perfect in my physical world. And that's exactly what we'd like to point out. That well-being has nothing to do with how your life is unfolding in the physical sense, meaning that you can decide that you want to feel good, that you want to be well in this physical reality, and then be well. You see, so many of you will make your physical well-being dependent on other beings. See, the last few weeks we've been sitting with Charlie with this for a while because she really enjoys the sense of well-being like many of you do, and she's discovered that in her life, when she's really focused on well-being, so much of what is happening in her life begins to unfold so much more smoothly. And sometimes she begins to let go and she becomes so focused on working so hard and making something happen and forcing it that well-being begins to sort of fizzle out. And so her focus shifts from one of well-being to one of control. And we see this with many of you. And so as that begins to happen, the physical circumstances in your life begin to reflect it, you see. And so you try so hard to control, and the physical circumstances in your life begin to reflect it. And then you want to control some more, and the physical circumstances in your life begin to reflect it, and you want to control some more, and all of a sudden you find yourself so stressed out and with so much tension and so wound up and all getting your panties all wound up that you begin to wonder that what we have been telling you, if it's true or not. And so we begin to notice this with Charlie as well. And so as she realizes this and she begins to relax and becomes grounded in her well-being, the train that she sort of gets to jump on is one that begins to lead her in a direction of well-being that then reflects in her physical reality. And so how does this happen? Well, this happens by really mastering your own well-being. What does this mean? Well, it means a couple of things, but the main thing that it means is to realize that your well-being is not dependent on your physical circumstances. Your well-being is not dependent on others around you, but you work so hard, so hard, and you put your well-being on others, meaning unless someone responds in the way that you want them to, then you do not feel well. And since this is a physical reality with its own laws, you must realize that the non-physical reality around you that is much greater than the physical reality that you observe also has its own laws. And the laws of the non-physical reality are much more dominant in your physical reality, meaning the things that you do not see have so much more power than the things that you do see. And what are the things that you do not see? vibration. And so when you make your well-being a priority, not dependent on physical circumstances, not dependent on others, you begin to retrain your vibration in such a way that it actually begins to help your physical reality, and it brings you closer to the things that you really want. And so simply, every day when you first wake up, begin to observe the things that allow you to feel good in the moment, independent of what you've got to do today, of what you got to do tomorrow, and what so-and-so said, and what so-and-so is doing. And we promise you, as you begin to do this, the way in which others respond to you begins to shift and transform in a way that allows you to see the well-being that is around you, that allows you to see that there is so much more goodness, and that what you feel and the vibration that you carry is so much more important than the things that you say and the things that you try to do. Because as you carry this vibration, it seeps into every action that you take. It seeps into every word that you say. It seeps into every cell of your being. So if you've got something in your life right now that you are trying so hard to figure out, we'd like you to shift your focus from that trying hard to allowing yourself to observe something that lines you up with well-being. So let's say you're trying to resolve a personal relationship with someone. Maybe they are not behaving in the way that you want them to. That's all right. We'd like you to realize that they are their own being and that they have their own vibration. So what's important for you right now is to become really, really aware of the vibration that you are carrying. And so as you become aware of yourself and the vibration that you are carrying, you might start to notice, well, you know, that if I'm carrying this vibration, if I were that person, well, I would probably behave in that same way towards myself because, well, this is the way that I'm carrying myself, and this vibration that I'm carrying is attracting a certain reaction from the other person. You see, when you start to become aware and you give importance to your own vibration, your well-being, you start to notice that you are a much more powerful and influential player than you realized. See, up until now, the reason why you're not feeling well-being is that you are making someone else a much more powerful player in your world. And when that happens, it doesn't feel good. You know why? Because when you make someone else a more powerful player in your world, you are cutting yourself off from your higher being. And your higher being is seeing you as the most powerful player in your world and your universe. And you begin to carry yourself in this way. It is not egotistical. As a matter of fact, you begin to give your ego a little break, and as you become grounded in this well-being, you begin to connect to your higher being in such a truthful way that it is not your ego leading anymore, it is source leading through you. See, when you make someone else a more powerful player in your world, you are letting someone else lead you while you are wanting to lead yourself. And then you wonder, well, what's happening? I'm so confused. Why am I going in this direction? Why am I going in that direction? Well, because you are not leading yourself. You are simply putting someone else in front of you, and they are leading you, and they are moving in their direction, in whichever direction they want to move, but it is not your direction. Because your direction comes when you connect to your higher being. And your higher being is in a constant state of well-being, and that is what it wishes for you. And so, our dearest human friends, instead of controlling your outer circumstances, begin to make your well-being a priority. And when you begin to do that, your vibration begins to shift. Now you have a beautiful guidance within you, and it is your feelings and your emotions. So many of you have learned to either shut off your emotions or be completely controlled by them because you never really learned how to be in tune to your own well-being. When you are in tune to your own well-being, you begin to notice when you're off tune. And when you are off tune, you begin to notice, well, how can I be more in tune? And in this process, it is a very gentle process. It is a very smooth process, you see. When you begin to master this process through understanding what your emotions are saying to you, and instead of them taking over you or you suppressing them, you find a really beautiful dance with them where they give you some signals, and you are able, because you are making well-being a priority, you are able to sense, maybe if I make this small adjustment in my thinking, maybe if I make this small adjustment in the way that in which I'm looking at something, this brings me more aligned with my well-being. Oh, well, that feels good. And then the next moment comes and something maybe bothers you and you say, well, I desire to be aligned with my well-being because that is the state, the most natural and beautiful state a soul is in. Well, what is this telling me? It is telling me that maybe I must forego this way of looking at it, and maybe I must invite a new way of looking at what is happening in my world, a new way of what is happening within me. So then I choose a thought that is allowing me to be aligned with my well-being. Well, that feels good. And then the next moment comes, and so on and so forth. You understand? You understand this sense of flow? We know that you understand this, but so many of you simply forget it. You forget it because you become so physically focused, and you put your focus out there. What is that person doing? How is it making me feel? Oh, it's not making me feel good. Oh, I don't feel good now. They're doing this. So if they just stop doing that, then I'm going to start feeling better. But you see, you have come into this physical environment with everything that you need. You have an incredibly powerful inner being that is constantly guiding you, that is constantly flowing through you. See, source is flowing through you and allowing you to experience so much of the goodness, so much of the well-being. And if you simply allowed yourself for this energy to flow through you, you will experience source through you, and you will experience this physical reality on a brand new level. And you call it a brand new dimension. And the more and more that you practice this, and the more and more that you uplift, that is when you become an uplifter for those around you. And so we are there for you anytime that you need us. And as we've expressed in previous transmissions, that the way in which you connect with us is through vibration, it is in the same way that you connect with the whole world around you is through vibration. And your well-being is a thermometer. See, your emotions are in a way a thermometer that lets you know how close or how far you are to this perfect temperature that connects you to the higher being. And once you connect to your higher being, you can connect to any interdimensional being that you wish to connect to. And best of all, your experience in this physical reality is so much more enhanced. It is multi-dimensional. This is when you get to see and taste and smell all the beauty that is around you. So, it is so good to come together with you now and all the moments in which you call forth your well-being. So, make joy, make your well-being your religion. Focus your mind, focus your emotion on that which you want to experience. And that which you want to experience is upliftment. It is joy in all that which you do in this physical reality. That is your true purpose. So, enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this transmission. If you feel inspired by this message, feel free to share it with anyone that you believe would benefit from this. So much love and blessings to you, Cosmic Family, and I look forward to seeing you again.